Welcome to the Bishop's broadcast. We are so excited that you are here tonight with us as we begin to interview some more of our leaders in our church so you can get to know them and know about their ministries. We have some announcements that we want to make to let you know that tomorrow night is Good Friday. Tomorrow is, and we're going to be having our 7 last sayings. Now, we are opening the church for our leaders and the ones like we did 2 weeks ago that want to come. We want you to come. It's going to start right at 7 o'clock. And for those that are not able to attend, we ask that you would turn into Facebook and watch the 7 last sayings, as we have 7 different ministers in our church that is going to be ministering on the last words of Jesus Christ. Also, we want to remind you that this Sunday, Easter Sunday, we are having parking lot praise. That is parking lot church for Easter, and we're going to have you come. Now, we're going to give a treat bag to all the children that come, and then also, as you pull into the parking lot, the ushers will hand those that want communion, and we will partake of communion all together. And we will have a wonderful time. Praise team's going to be singing. I'm going to be preaching. And it'll be from 11 to 12, just like last week. I got you right out at 12. Somebody told me miracles still happen. Pastor John only preached 15 minutes last week. So, 1, it was cold. And 2, I told you I'd get you out by 12. This week it's supposed to be 60. And I heard today that it's not even supposed to rain now. So we're excited about that. Also, we have some t-shirts for sale. If you'd like to purchase the t-shirt, the one is Racism is a Sin, and then the other one is I Am Revival. They're $10 a piece, and everything that you give towards that goes to the Capital Stewardship Program. You just got to type in your size and write in the comments of this, and then you can, we will get a hold of you, inbox you. Also, don't forget we have aprons. Sister Robin was on Tuesday night, and she said that we've raised almost $1,000 on aprons already. And so you can order yours. You just need to inbox or message on the comments on Facebook and let us know what you want. They're $10 for children, $20 for adults, and $30 for the licensed material ones that you get. Also, want to tell you that at the end of the broadcast of this, even during this whole thing, you can be asking questions. If you want to ask some questions, I can answer them, or Deacon Knox or Sister Nora, if it's about their ministries, we'd be happy to. Every night we've had 5, 6, 7 questions, and so we want you to ask your questions, share this video, get the word out, and then after this is all over, by tomorrow we'll have it on YouTube channel. Go to the Aspinwall Church YouTube channel and subscribe there. Put your name in, and they'll let you know when our videos come up, and we are we'll be grateful for that. So one other thing, during this time of why everybody is locked down we know that it is a financial hardship for a lot of people. But the church is actually doing more ministry. We're having to spend more money on getting sound equipment to be able to be portable. We are still feeding at the food bank. The food has went up tremendously. We've ministered to over 500 families. So if you would still like to give, we would greatly appreciate it. All your tithes and offerings go to exactly the way you say it, but you can text to give. The number is 925-GIVE, 216-925-GIVE, or you can give online at aspinwallchurch.com, or you can mail a check-in, or if you don't feel comfortable doing that like we have with some, you can call us and we will have somebody or even myself to come and pick it up. We appreciate you. We last on 100% donations. We're not funded by any other thing except what you give, and we appreciate what you've done so far during this lockdown that's going on because of the virus, but we are still in need of finances to be able to continue the ministry as we do the work of God. So tonight we've asked Deacon Knox, which is over our men's ministry, to be with us tonight to share some things about that, and then also Sister Nora is over our women's ministry, and also Sister Nora helps us with benevolent things like if somebody passes away, and she heads up all the food and gets things together, or when we have special guests in and they have baskets they give. Sister Nora does all that. So we appreciate them that are here with us tonight, and we love them. We got some questions to ask them, and so that we can get started here. We'll start with Sister Nora. Sister Nora, we got some questions. How did you first start coming to Aspinwall Church?
Well, when I was in high school, we lived over here on 150th Street.
Okay.
And my stepfather was coming by the building, which was the older sanctuary, the old part of the building. And the men were painting. And he, by trade, was a painter. So he stopped and started talking to Brother Jerome, was pastor then, and started talking to the men, and he volunteered to come help them paint. So from him helping them paint, Brother Jerome and Jim Hodge and Danny Jones and them started coming to the house to visit, and then we started coming to church.
Wow.
And then I quit coming when I went to college, and then I had my son, and he was in an accident. And I'm not going to tell the whole story, but I promised God. He had massive concussions, contusions. He was paralyzed on his right side. And I promised God if he brought it through, when he was old enough, I would bring him back to church.
Wow.
And when he was 4, God reminded me of my promise. And I remembered how they bussed the children in, and Jim Hodge and Sister Gore, and them were so good to the children. I called the church, and I had him and my little niece and my 2 nephews. They came and picked them up, and that's how. And then eventually, Mother's Day, he begged me to come to church. They were having a special. I think we had it over at the high school at the time. And he begged me to come because I would get a prize, Mommy, if you came. So I came, and from there I started coming all the time on the buses, my son and I.
Wow, so I never knew that you guys lived right up here because of
Yes.
the painting. That's pretty interesting. Never knew that. Deacon Knox, how did you first start coming to Aspinwall Church?
Well, the wife and I moved into this community about 12 years ago. And the first week we were here, our pastor emeritus, Pastor Walden, came over and then invited us to Aspinwall. And I told him at that time, I promise you I will come. I won't promise you when.
Right.
And as it turned out, the wife and I were currently visiting her church, my church. She was a member of Bethany Baptist under the leadership of Dr. Stephen Rowan, and I was a member of Everlasting Baptist under Reverend DeWitt Chappelle. And we would go to one church for 2 weeks, go to another church for 2 weeks, and on the 5th week we would visit other churches. And the first time we visited here, you happened to be preaching, and I told my wife, I say, you really got to get over here and hear this guy preach, you know. And as it was, we had to wait for another 5th Sunday to come around. And when that happened, we came over, you weren't preaching.
Right.
Your brother, Pastor Jeremy Walden, was preaching. And she said, wow. I said, yeah, he's a great preacher, but that's not who I brought you here to listen to. And we had to wait for another 5th Sunday. And the next time we came, Pastor Emeritus Walden was preaching. She fell in love with him.
Right.
I said, yeah, he's a great preacher, but that's not who I brought you here to. Anyway, it was a while, probably a year or 2 before we actually caught up with you again. And we just couldn't be of service at either church. You'd miss out on so much going here 2 weeks, going there 2 weeks. And that's how we did it. we alternated churches and split our tithes amongst the two. And the Lord just laid it on my heart that we needed a church for us versus my church, your church, and the Lord led us here, and that was
You even helped.
over 7 years ago.
You even helped me over working at the factory before you was even really coming here all the time.
Yeah.
Over here, and you come in and knock on the door and check on us in the foyer sometimes, and I didn't even know, you knew Grandpa before me, but and you live right across the road, and right by the church here. So,
Yes, sir.
so you don't have far to come to church, right?
Not far. The pastor actually said at one time that the only time the church would close is when he couldn't make it or I couldn't make it. So,
Right.
fast forward, coronavirus.
Right.
So, but we're still not shut down yet, praise the Lord.
Right. Brother Deacon Knox also drives our van on Trailblazers on Thursday for our Trailblazers, and helps Pastor E out. Sister Nora, how did you start first doing the ladies ministry?
I helped in the ladies ministry when Sister Sudie was the leader of the ministry at that time. And I would cook, I would help serve downstairs or whatever was needed. And then when she decided that she wanted to cut back and not be involved, her and Pastor Walden asked me if I would take over.
Okay, so that's how. And Deacon, how did you first, of course I know the answer, but we'll let you answer it. How did you first become the men's leader at the church here?
Well, initially we didn't have a men's ministry.
Right.
You approached me one day and said you would like me to be the leader of our men's ministry, and I'm like, I'm not qualified to be a leader of anything, And he said, well, you've been acting in that capacity for a while, and I said, all I wanted to do is be in the background and serve, but you told me to pray about it.
Right.
And I did that, and I humbly accepted the assignment. And
So you're the men's leader, and we'll get into what that is here in a second, and you drive the Trailblazers, and you're deacon of the church. We have two deacons, and deacon is, why don't you explain to them what we think a deacon is at the church?
well, I think I'll have to explain what I think a deacon
Okay.
is. And deacon is no more than another title for servant. I've been asked by a number of our congregation, what's my job? And I say, to serve the pastor. They say, well, doing what? Serving the pastor in whatever capacity you see fit. Any capacity I can serve in that would take some of the work off of your shoulders. And being mindful of the fact that I am not the pastor, I just do the pastor's bidding.
So that's multiple things. If I need somebody visited at a hospital and I can't make it, or somebody needs a doctor's appointment, or whatever it is, it's just been a tremendous help to me. I know that, you and Brother Ron both, and I appreciate that. Sister Nora, what is the women's ministry? What do you guys do? What is it involved? What do you guys, just explain, like, so if we have some people here that's never been to the women's ministry, or a pastor that's watching that don't have a women's ministry, just explain a little bit what you do and what our ladies do and through the year.
Okay, our ladies ministry is part fellowship and part ministry. It's a way for the ladies to connect with each other and to build a bond and relationships with each other. When you come into a church, if you don't get connected, you're not gonna stay.
Right.
So we want our ladies to meet other ladies, get involved in, get to know them, build relationships with them. So that's more the fellowship part. We have game nights, we've had movie nights. You bring your own dinner and have a movie, that's one of the favorite things they have. We go out for outings, sometimes we'll go on a shopping spree or get together and go to different conventions or something. If someone's coming in for teaching, women of faith or whoever, we've gone to those as a group. We get together in groups like that and do things together. We serve. Like you said, if there's a death in the family of our church families, we provide the repast. We cook it and serve it and do that. We used to be more in charge of all of the big gatherings here, but now we separate that a little more among other people. We used to be in charge of all the banquets, all of that we would put together, plan them, serve them, and have the ladies. So it's a way of the ladies not only to know each other, but to serve each other and other members of the church. And then we have ministries. We do a lot of the functions, we either have a Bible study or a devotion when we have our gatherings. So we also teach the ladies, not only teach them, but give them an opportunity to get involved and to use their gifts. We have different ladies from the church we'll have speak. Our main ones would be Sudie, Sister Angie, now Sister Inez, but we've also used ones, pull them out of their comfort zone and let them speak and do Bible studies or devotions. Or we let them help decorate. There's all kinds of areas where you could come in and help with ministry.
So you have like mother-daughter banquets too, and
Right.
ladies' prayer tea, and there's just a lot of
Those
things.
are the main things we have, yes.
All right. So our men's ministry is a men's fellowship is what I told Deacon Knox that I would really like to have is more of a fellowship. We've done a lot of things, but one thing in common is we eat. And so just explain, Brother Knox, Deacon Knox, on what we do with our men's ministry.
Well, first off, our men's ministry is not as old as our women's ministry, and we're in kind of in uncharted waters. But our goal is to promote fellowship outside of our worship service. You know, 'cause we run in to worship. We run out, and we never have time for each other. So it's a way that we can hopefully bring the men together in a manner where we can just take our suits off and relax a little bit, get to know each other,
Be men.
and hopefully develop a network. Because we got a tremendous amount of talent here in the church.
Yeah.
And the only way we can find out what it is to come together and just fellowship. And we do that by, we try to have break bread together every other month. We usually find I find a place for us to have dinner, or if any place anybody else want to have dinner every other month. And I've been thinking about having breakfast instead of dinner. So just mix it up, just so we can get together and get to know each other.
Tell them what we did last time, the very last thing we done here.
Oh, that was kind of labor intensive.
Yeah.
We did a fish fry, which never is just a fish fry. We all love fried chicken, so we had to have chicken wings.
Right.
And we ate fish and we ate chicken wings. And,
That's right.
It's always, I think what was that, the third time we did that?
Yeah,
And it's always been a success.
In other churches, men come to it too sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Men, you don't have to be part of Aspinwall to come, just men fellowshipping together.
And we've been to a car show and went to eat after that before.
Yeah, we went to the auto show a couple of years. We missed this year. I guess we could blame it on the coronavirus, but you know, any kind of, we're open to suggestion to any kind of event that the guys would be interested in.
Right. Okay, so Sister Nora, why do you think it's important? What's your heart? Why do you think it's important for us to have women's ministry at Aspinwall Church?
Well, for one thing, it brings the ladies together.
Mm-hmm.
And they get to build relationships, and it unifies the ladies, and it unifies the church. Plus, we help with different programs in the church we get behind. It helps you when you're doing events. The ladies get together and help with those, and it's a form of ministry. We help the ladies use their gifts.
Mm-hmm.
Give them an opportunity to use their gifts in the ministry also. And I think it's much needed, and I would love to see more of the women join. We do have a good fellowship, but I would like to see more of the women come, and as the new women come, to bring them in and join.
Right. I think that's important that our church has it because of the connectivity, connecting our community to Christ, but through fellowship. And also the women's raised thousands and thousands of dollars. The men's ministry done a fundraiser last year, and they gave a TV away, and we raised good money with that too. So those are, but Deacon, tell us why that it's important for us to have a men's ministry, and why, what's your heart for it? Like, you often tell me about men connecting with men, and but go ahead and explain.
Well, I think first and foremost, the men have been sitting down too long. One man's opinion. The church was given first to man, and from the beginning of time, woman has been carrying the church.
Right.
And some of we haven't done our duty, and we have to stand up, and that's the only way our young men are gonna know how to become men, if we start teaching them here and we start doing what we're supposed to do. I believe that's a lot of what's going on in society today, is we're not doing what God intended for us to do. So we have to, it's time for us to step up, and the only way we can do that is get involved, come back to the church.
One thing I love about Deacon Knox is that he often spends time, and he don't broadcast it, so a lot of people don't know, but many times he'll get some of the young boys and take them out, buy them something to eat, and then he'll talk to them in a nice way about buying them a belt to wear his pants right, or just do something that maybe that a father hasn't been able to do, or not even been around, or even just a figure in the church. And a lot of times I think we as the church have missed that, of women and men that don't mentor our young men and women to do ladylike things or men things, that because maybe they don't know how, or if they do, they just need somebody to talk with them. And a lot of times we're so worried about their feelings, we don't worry about their soul. But we have to worry about their soul too, but at the same time be that mentor. And Deacon Knox is oftentimes, I've ran into him, he's had a couple boys with him, taking them out to get them something to eat, or or help them buy a belt, or whatever they need. But I love that about Deacon Knox. If you have some questions, you can ask the questions. We got some that are coming on there, because we've already hit 30 minutes. See, that went quick, didn't it?
Right.
So we got some questions, and if you want to ask them, go ahead and ask them while we're here, and then we'll answer some of these now.
Do you have to be a certain age to be involved in these ministries?
No, not at all. I think one of our youngest, when he started, was what, 6 years old?
Oh yeah, Nikolai.
And was Amir? He was about 6 when he started hanging out with us, you know, so all you gotta do is have the passion.
And permission.
Absolutely.
Is there?
There is an age limit of 16, but we don't hold to that. A lot of our functions, the ladies bring their children to. If I'm setting up downstairs, a lot of the younger girls come in and help us set up. So there is a place for everybody.
I also want to say, if you want to get involved in any of these ministries, you can message us. Sister Nora's on Facebook, or you can message the church, and I'll make sure Deacon Knox gets it also. But we're always looking for men to fellowship and women to fellowship, and they can also help and do things if that's what they desire to do. But you know, we have protocols and things of that nature. So if you'd like to do that, you're more than welcome to. All right, what's the next question?
Someone asked, are these ministries on pause, or are the ladies gonna do something online during this quarantine?
Well, we're kind of on pause, but I've been kind of wrestling in my head, maybe doing a book club online. If we could get it set up to where we could read a book and then all get together and put our comments and questions about the book.
So it's something we can, think about, look into, and try to get it. But I'm telling you, we are coming out of this here quick. 2 weeks, we're opening up. Jalen?
Someone asked, what kind of fellowship does the men's ministry do?
We eat. We eat. And that's primarily what, throughout history, that's what man has done. Broke bread together. Everything, a lot of the biggest deals in the world were made over the dinner table. Just anytime you're eating, you can work things out.
And we do work around the church. We have things where the men, we spent, the men and women, but men spent 3 weeks solid in the church, remodeling it every night, eating. There's all kinds of stuff we've done, but mainly we go out and just fellowship and eat. All right.
For the women's ministry, do you guys ever take overnight trips?
Twice a year, if they're we have our Northern and Southern Women's Conventions, Women's Day, and if the Southern one is not too far, we will go there, and we'll go on a Friday morning, stay overnight, have the meeting Saturday, and come home. And the Northern one we usually always go to too. They're usually in May and October.
Marvin says on here he loves to eat. That's why he fits in good.
Okay.
Another one, Jalen?
One more question that popped up on here. What is your guys' favorite thing about women's or men's ministry?
Mine is getting to know the women and the heart of the women. You build relationships with them, and you really get to know them. When you come just to church and you see them, you don't know their backgrounds. You don't know where they were and where God's brought them to. And through the ministry, we're open with each other, we're transparent with each other, and you really get to know the heart of the women, and you get to watch them grow, and watch them use the gifts that God's given them. And that's and just serving the women. I just love to serve the women.
Brother Knox, what's your favorite thing about men's ministry?
I think it gives me an opportunity to just minister to different people, and to do that, you have to know life as they see it. And the only way you can do that is sit down and talk to them about their perspective on life. And it's everybody you meet. It's all of our guys. All of us come from different walks of life, and it's just, for me, it's rewarding just to talk to somebody who traveled a different path than I've traveled.
Amen. Is that it? All right. Well, we want to say again to Deacon Knox and Sister Nora, thank you for coming and being on the Bishop's broadcast tonight. Later on, if you want to, you can share this video, help us out, and it will be on our YouTube page. Don't forget, tomorrow night, I'll say this again, all the leaders in the church and the ones that volunteer and work, we're allowing you to come, but we're going to social distance one another here. But I want to still allow our ministers to preach, and tomorrow, so everybody else, it'll be on Facebook, Cyber, 7 Last Sayings at 7 o'clock tomorrow night. So leaders, please come if you can. If you're sick, stay home, but if you're not, come. Be with us. And then also Sunday, Easter Sunday, is parking lot praise, and we will be having service in the parking lot. We have treat bags for the kids, and we will pass out communion to everybody that gets in the parking lot, and then we'll ask you to hold them until we all partake of it together. And then we have our fundraisers, and we're thankful for all that. But please remember that we are going to have 7 Last Sayings, and we are going to have parking lot praise Sunday on Easter Sunday morning. So Resurrection Sunday. This is the Super Bowl for churches this weekend. And whether we be in the parking lot or in here, we want to do it together. So thank you for joining in. God bless you is my prayer. And don't forget to tune in tomorrow night. And we know that it will be a blessing to you. God bless you.